He's turned it on. I didn't hear it go. And we are online. Come on up to the front row. I can't hear. Good evening, everyone. I'm going to call the meeting to order at 7:06 p.m. I recognize that we have a quorum present with 6 out of our 7 members present. Are there any additions or amendments to the agenda?
This evening, I had placed in front of the board one additional invoice that needed to be added to claims this evening.
I move to amend the agenda by adding under claims, additional invoice from Farron's Custom Concrete.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second to add the claim from Farron to our claims. Thank you, Mr. Mann, and thank you, Mrs. Carroll. Are there any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. Motion carried unanimously. Next, could I have entertain a motion to approve the agenda as amended?
I make a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
I'll second. Who was this?
Mrs. Lewis.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Fiddler. Thank you, Mrs. Lewis. I have a motion and a second to approve the agenda as amended. Are there any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. Motion carried unanimously. This is the public's time to speak to the board concerning agenda items. I have 2 people that have signed up to speak. You will each have 3 minutes to make your presentation. When you come to the podium, please state your name and full address, and will you take time? Thank you. So we'll start with Ashley Jones. Oh, I'm sorry. I see. Never mind. Chris Jones. Yes, please.
I brought a few documents. If you guys want to look at them, where would I put them?
I can get this down here.
Yes,
Good.
Okay. Never done this before. Good evening. My name is Chris Jones, and my wife Ashley and I are the parents of Millie Jones, a 5th grader here at Cloverdale Middle School. We have had 6 children in the Cloverdale school system over the last 10 years. We value this community, we respect our teachers, and we believe in public education. What we're here to address tonight is not about teachers, it's about administrative accountability and the way families are treated when things go wrong. Earlier this school year, Millie placed her Chromebook in her backpack exactly as instructed in the student handbook. When she removed it later, shortly thereafter, the screen was cracked and the device was unusable. We were immediately billed $175 for replacement without ever being allowed to see the device, without photos, without any explanation of whether any warranty coverage was even considered, because we had heard that they'd recently been replaced, so we assumed that maybe there was something there. I have asked repeatedly and respectfully to inspect the Chromebook or receive documentation of the damage. Every request has been denied. When I pressed for answers, I was told policy applies and that payments must continue or my daughter would lose access to her learning tools. Since raising the issue, multiple other parents have come forward publicly describing the exact same issue, the exact same problem, Chromebooks cracking inside their protective cases during normal use. When identical failures happen to multiple students following the same procedures, that's not a coincidence. That's a defective product. If a student damages property through negligence, that's one thing. But if a school-issued device fails under normal conditions, families should not be held financially responsible and certainly not punished for asking reasonable questions. When accountability only flows one direction, towards families, the system is broken. Tonight, we're asking the board to step in because the administration has refused transparency, denied evidence, and continued demanding payment without due process. I'll let Ashley take the second half of that.
Hi, my name is Ashley Jones. Good evening. My name is Ashley Jones, and I am Millie's mother. Our family has been part of the Cloverdale school system for more than a decade. We've watched our children learn and grow and graduate from here. We are also watching a troubling pattern emerge. One of the administration that avoids accountability, and families are left to pay the price, both financially and emotionally. In this Chromebook case, we were told that if we did not keep paying, our daughter would lose access to the technology her classmates use every day. This means she would be singled out and separated. Not because of misconduct, not because her parents, but because of her parents asked for fairness. This is not what public education should look like. We can afford the $175. My family, many families in this district cannot afford the $175. Under the current approach, families without extra means would simply have to comply, even when they did nothing wrong. Children in those homes would be punished, not for carelessness, but for poverty. It is unacceptable. And this isn't just about one device. Over the years, we have experienced other incidences of missing or damaged items where responsibility always pointed at the families and never the system. Each time it's the same: no evidence, no flexibility, no accountability. The district tells students to take responsibilities for their actions. It is time for the administration to do the same. If these Chromebooks are failing under normal use, the district should investigate. If the warranty coverage applies, families should not be billed. And if disputes arise, children must not be used as leverage. We love this community, we believe in these schools, but belief requires trust, and trust requires accountability. We ask this board to restore both by ensuring that the situation is investigated with transparency and the families are treated fairly. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll move on to routine matters. I have a request to approve the minutes for the executive, regular, and annual finance meetings all held on January 12th, 2026, and the executive and special meeting held on January 19th.
I move to approve the minutes for the executive, regular, and annual finance meeting on January 12th and the executive and special meeting on January 19th.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Mann. Thank you, Mrs. Haltom. I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes for all the meetings held on January 12th and January 19th. Are there any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. Motion carried unanimously. Next are claims and financial reports. Mr. Linton.
Yes, this evening I'm requesting the board to approve our claims and financial reports since our last board meeting. We have obviously claims and then three payrolls this period, so the claims were a little bit higher than normal. But the total amount is $2,968,858.32.
I'll make a motion to approve the claims and financial reports. I'll second.
Thank you, Mrs. Haltom. Thank you, Mrs. Carroll. I have a motion and a second to approve the claims and financial reports as presented. Are there any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. Motion carried unanimously. Next, we have the first reading of board policies, volume 38, number 1. Would you like to make a comment, or do you want me to make the comment?
Probably could both. It was a complicated group of policies. There's a lot of changes from the last legislative session. But as I mentioned in my activity report, I've reviewed those with Jim Halleck, our Neola representative, and then Mrs. Whitaker and Mrs. Lewis and I had also reviewed those policies initially and found a few things we wanted to change, but by and large, pretty close to what Halleck came up with. Any comments?
Okay. We will have the second reading and a vote at our next meeting. Next, we move on to communications. And we have our students of the month. And Mrs. Puckett, would you like to start with the elementary school?
This is Connor Pettijohn, who is a second grade student in Mrs. Headley's class, and he is the son of Ryan and Christy Pettijohn. And Mrs. Headley nominated Connor for Student of the Month. Mrs. Headley stated that Connor is an excellent role model for his peers. He strives to always do his best work on assignments, and as a second grade student, he is highly organized and dependable. Most importantly, he is a friend to all. Mr. Sandy has had Connor in PE since kindergarten, and he states that Connor always comes to PE class prepared and ready to listen to the directions. He is very athletic and enjoys participating in a variety of sports and games in the gym. And he appreciates his winning attitude in class. Connor knows to be a successful student that he must make good choices. He stays focused on what the teacher is saying and always tries to do his best. His favorite part of school is recess. He likes to play tag with friends, and when he is not in school, he plays team sports like basketball and baseball. He also likes to play outside and with his brother on the trampoline. When he grows up, he'd like to be a zookeeper and take care of penguins, which is his favorite animal. Congratulations, Connor.
Mrs. Melick?
Our student is at a wrestling meet tonight, so he's going to come to the March meeting.
Thank you. Mr. Stoltz?
This is kind of a, you've been doing this a long time. This is kind of a sad evening for me because I see the income in there. For 4 years, I've known this young lady. She works hard. Reason why I called her Turtle. When she comes to school, she has so many activities that she wears one backpack in the front, one in the back, and it's pretty heavy. But we always joke. But for 4 years, she's done that, and you'll see why. She's going to be one we're going to miss because I think she's a school leader. She's a great individual, and you hope you can replace her. That just means things are getting better at Cloverdale High School. So this is Sarah Nichols, 12th grader, senior, going to graduate here in May for us. She's with her mom, dad, Matt. Matt's in the back, and Andrea Nichols. Sarah is likes school. She's there all the time, even sick sometimes. She comes to school, and so that she all of her classes she participates. She loves government, photography, straight to destiny. Her interests are in basketball and softball in her youth group. In basketball, she was a member of the group that only 6 survived, and they made it through a season that was incredible. They won 8 out of 9 games at one time, and with only 6 players. And there was nights that we didn't know if we'd finish. But she was the anchor on the team, and those girls did a great job. She's academic all-conference cumulative honors, and she has her academic blanket. She plans to go to college to major in professional flight to become a commercial pilot. We actually have 2 students at Cloverdale High School that want to get into that, so it's up and coming, and we hope she does really well. Sarah has a whole back page full of people who have commented, and I think they feel the same thing as I do. Mrs. Dobbs says Sarah is a leader by example by staying true to herself and treats others with kindness and respect. And I think you're a leader in the Bring Change the Mind group. And what's the athletic core group you got?
Time Out for Mental Health.
Time Out for Mental Health. And she's a leader, and that just started this year. Mrs. Scott said Sarah is an exceptional student, athlete, and role model. Sarah has a great personality that makes everyone enjoy being around her. It's rare to see her without a big smile on her face. I've enjoyed having Sarah in class the past 4 years. Mr. Lotz, her strength teacher, said, I've been lucky enough to have Sarah as a student for 4 years. Sarah has been a pleasure to work with in class. She always shows up wanting to get better. She is always wanting to bring positive energy into the room that she walks in. This school is going to miss Sarah next year as she is one of the great kids in our school. Mr. Turk says, congrats to one of our finest students, Sarah, on being selected as February Student of the Month. Salute to you as you are one of the finest leaders in our school, displaying visionary ideas and the ability to inspire and animate others, whether it's in the classroom, on the basketball court, on the softball diamond, or in our cheer block. Mr. Snip had this to say. Sarah is an excellent student athlete. It is one thing to perform admirably in the classroom. It's an entirely different matter to do so alongside a busy athletic schedule and work. Sarah also demonstrates good citizenship. She is respectful of her classmates and her teachers, and she demonstrates a high degree of integrity. Congratulations on a well-deserved recognition, Mr. S. And we saved the last one because I think Mr. Wade's worked with Sarah for 4 years, and he sees it as most of us do. He says, I've been lucky to coach Sarah for the last 4 years. As a coach, you need athletes that are there for the greater good and understand they're playing for more than their personal gain. Sarah certainly fits this mold. That is not to say she didn't work hard, becoming the best she could. She knew the better she became, the better the team became. It's been a joy to see her mature over the last 4 years as she worked extremely hard on both her mental part of the game and her physical part of the game. She definitely was a leader for us, both on the court and the classroom. I know Sarah will continue to succeed as she moves forward into aviation field and everything she sets her mind on. The high school student of the month for February, Sarah Nichols. It's for you. Take that. I'll get a picture in a second. I'm going to give you this, okay?
Mhm.
Right there. She likes it when I push her around. She doesn't like it. Okay. I'll go ahead and do the staff member.
Absolutely.
Cindy, stand up here. DHS is pleased to announce our February staff member of the month is Ms. Cindy Byer. Mrs. Byer was chosen by the CHS February selection team headed up by Mrs. Gwen Statner. She began her career at Cloverdale Community School Corporation in 1998, where she worked in the kitchen. She then moved to custodian in 2010. Mrs. Byer is currently the head custodian at CHS, where she has occupied this position since 2021. We go back to think about this, she is the only fourth head custodian at high school since the 70s. We've been pretty lucky to have somebody. And that person, and I wrote a little bit, Mrs. Byer is like an administrative assistant, not in her job title, but she makes sure all the meetings, gatherings, activities, and events are ready without interruption. She also does a lot of maintenance work in her spare time. I've been very fortunate to I've worked with 3 of them, and Roger Neese, the 4th one, but they've also been great because they know what to do. And so when we open up in the morning, we get to school, she's been there for an hour. And so the school's ready to go. And so we appreciate her effort. Along with her dedication to Cloverdale High School, she is a devoted wife to Brad of 31 years, mother to Barb and Josh. She also is a grandmother to 5 grandchildren. Congratulations, February High School Staff Member of the Month, Mrs. Cindy Byer.
Well, I'm going to start with Connor. Connor, for a second grader, knowing what your
Cloverdale Police Department.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot, Roger. I'm sorry. I am so sorry.
Jamari, can I have you up here?
Yep.
They were trying to forget us, Jamari. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming tonight. I want to introduce you to Jamari Berryhill. Jamari, who'd you bring tonight? Okay, fantastic. Well, Jamari, what do you want to be when you grow up? An astronaut. Ooh. Hey, we haven't been to Mars yet. Do you think you can get us there? No. Well, we're going to rethink that. Well, Jamari is such a great helper and is always looking for ways to be kind. He consistently cleans up at the paper towels in the restroom and to help Miss Jackie during lunch and to keep our school clean and safe. He is always willing to jump in and help with whatever he needs or whatever is needed. Sounds like you're a helper, Jamari. Is that right? Okay, good deal. All around, Jamari is such an amazing young man. I've noticed Jamari, in the school, and he's a quiet guy, as you can tell, but he's also very curious. So I think, Jamari, you're going to go places, okay? And people are really excited to have you up here and to have you as Citizen of the Month for the SRO program. Ladies and gentlemen, our Student Citizen of the Month, Jamari. Everybody. And you get your votes. Thanks, Bob.
And I'm going to take it Giovanni is not here. Okay. Mrs. Klingon, you are up next. Ah,
Hello, my name is Cadence Brown, president of the Cloverdale FFA chapter. In front of you should have the Cloverdale FFA newsletter. And I'm here to talk to you about the 2025 Cloverdale Community Toy Drive hosted on December 10th. In 2025, we served 291 Cloverdale students and 12 students we sponsored at the Giving Tree. We had 28 total donors, Monterey, toys, hats, and gloves, books, and stuffed animals, 30 bikes from Putnamville Correctional Facility. In all, we raised $4,859. The Cloverdale Cupboard donated 50 hams to the first 50 families that came.
wow.
You guys have any questions?
Good job.
That's an awesome
Fantastic.
job. Very
Thank you.
good. For you younger ones that are here, think about FFA because you don't have to be a farmer to be FFA, but it gives you a lot of skills. And I can tell you that I can go to different meetings and say, that kid has been in FFA just because of the way they handle themselves, how they conduct meetings. It's an amazing program. And bless you for being our president this year, and bless Mrs. Kingman for being our sponsor. Thank you so much. Well, I'm going to go backwards now. Jamari, I tell you what, at one time I wanted to be an astronaut too, but I knew I couldn't handle the vomit comment. So that kind of eliminated it. And you're right, it's going to be a long time before we get people on Mars. But if you ever get the chance, there is a summer space camp down in Alabama that you need to go to. It is absolutely awesome, and it'll give you a head start into what you need to do to prepare yourself to be an astronaut. Okay? And then Mr. Connor, a zoo, you can go lots of places with a zoo. I want to know, how did you decide that penguins were your favorite animal? They are cute, and they kind of waddle and kind of, yeah. So good luck in your profession, because I know that there's a young lady that's at DePaul right now. She graduated from North Putnam. That's one of the things that she has done during the summers all through her high school year. She worked as a summer intern at the Indianapolis Zoo. So maybe you can get into that program and work with the penguins before you actually get out of school. How about that? Would it be fun? Then Miss Sarah, my goodness gracious, what do I say about this young lady? The first time I saw Sarah was with her dad out at Lou's restaurant, and it was after a basketball practice. So she's been playing the round ball for a long time. I have to echo what Mr. Stoltz and Mr. Wade said about this year's basketball team. You are the leader. You're the glue that holds it together. Anybody that knows how tough a season they've had have to admire the grit, the fortitude, and the dedication you've given to Cloverdale High School in keeping our basketball program alive. And if I'm right about this, you won more games this year than you won in the previous 3 years. Is that correct? Yes. I thought so. That says a lot about determination and how hard these girls have worked. And I saw you got accepted to a school, a college today, because it was on the JAG page, but you still have Indiana State in mind, right? Well, I have a little bias. I have 3 degrees from there, and I know they have a great aviation program there. So I hope you do that, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed that you get into the honors college too, because that's just awesome. Thank you for everything you've done for Cloverdale, and best wishes for everything beyond. Then Mrs. Byer, what can I say about you? I know that at one time she came over here and cleaned as part of her duties, and she's never failed to say something positive to me, greet me, and when she's in the cafeteria with all the high schoolers, she keeps them on track, makes sure that the trash gets in the trash barrel, and between sessions of class, you should see her, Mr. Stoltz, and Mr. Saylor wipe down all of the tables before the next group comes in. It's fascinating to watch. And for making sure that school gets off to a good start every morning, that's a tough job. And we appreciate everything you've done to keep it rolling, even during this crazy weather. Well, with that being said, I'm going to dismiss all of you young people and adults with them to the outer office. Mr. Stoltz is going to take pictures. If you choose to come back in, you're more than welcome to do so. But if you have something else you prefer to do on the weeknight, feel free to go ahead and go on home. Thank you very, very much, and congratulations to all of you.
See you later.
Thanks.
You've seen not
Wow.
too many, but we've never had nobody.
Jamie's
Move on
in
up.
the back. Jamie's at least usually in the back.
Maybe he's hiding it.
You guys gonna anchor the wall there, right?
The news can watch the tape.
Imagine that. Imagine that. Well, we have no old business, so we will proceed to new business. First, we have a request to approve the disposal of CHS 2026 classroom surplus.
No, the list was in the board packet. I don't have any other. That's pretty self-explanatory.
Motion to approve the disposal of CHS 2026 classroom surplus. I'll second.
Thank you, Mrs. Fiddler. Thank you, Mrs. Carroll. I have a motion and a second to approve the disposal of the 2026 classroom surplus at the high school. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. Motion carried unanimously. Next, we have a request to approve the CHS class learning disability instructional assistant.
In your board packet, Mr. Stoltz had provided some justification for requesting this additional position at the high school due to increased enrollment. I would ask the board to approve the creation of the position on this part of the agenda, and we have someone to fill it here in just a few minutes.
I motion to approve the CHS class learning disability instructional assistant.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mrs. Carroll. Thank you, Mrs. Fiddler. I have a motion and a second to approve the position for the high school class learning disability instructional assistant. Are there any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. Motion carried unanimously. Next, approval of the 2025 to 27 Title IV grant approval and acceptance.
See in your board packet, Mrs. Ames's request to approve the Title IV grant in the amount of $19,581.23.
A motion to approve the 25 through 27 Title IV grant acceptance.
Second.
Thank you, Mrs. Lewis. Thank you, Mr. Mann. I have a motion and a second to approve the 25-27 Title IV grant approval and acceptance. Are there any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. Motion carried unanimously. Next, we have a request to approve a 2026 micro purchases threshold.
As part of our exit audit with the recent State Board of Account audit, this is one of our current policies that they ask us to update annually. So by approving this evening, it moves the threshold from $10,000 to $50,000.
I move to approve the 2026 micro purchases threshold.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Mann. Thank you, Mrs. Carroll. I have a motion and a second to approve the 2026 micro purchases threshold. Are there any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. Motion carried unanimously. Next, approval of donations for the elementary school and the high school.
We have one at the elementary and 4 donations at the high school that we're requesting the board to accept this evening.
A motion to approve the donations for CES and CHS.
A second.
Thank you, Mrs. Lewis. Thank you, Mrs. Haltom. I have a motion and a second to approve the donations to both the high school and the elementary school. Are there any questions or discussion? You want to say thank you?
Thank you.
Yeah. I'll call for the vote. Yeah,
I know.
just lost my train of thought. Did I ask for questions and discussion? Yes, I did. Okay. All in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. Motion carried unanimously. Next, approval of cash transfer ins.
This evening, we have 2 requests of students to transfer into the school corporation. Request board approval.
I'll make a motion to approve cash transference.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mrs. Halton. Thank you, Mrs. Fiddler. I have a motion and a second to approve the transfer ins as presented. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. Motion carried unanimously. Next, professional leaves.
We only have one this evening, professional leave request that we're asking the board to approve this evening.
A motion to approve professional leave request.
I'll second.
Was that Mrs.
Mrs. Carroll.
Okay. Thank you, Mrs. Lewis. Thank you, Mrs. Carroll. I have a motion and a second to approve the professional leave request. Are there any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. Motion carried unanimously. Next, approval of field trips.
In your board packet this evening, you had an opportunity to review 13 requests for field trips that we would ask the board to approve this evening.
I motion to approve the field trips.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mrs. Carroll. Thank you, Mr. Mann. I have a motion and a second to approve the field trips as presented. Are there any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. Motion carried unanimously. Next, approval of facility use requests.
We have 7 requests for the board to consider this evening. Each of the requests follow board policy.
Motion to approve facility use request.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mrs. Fiddler. Thank you, Mrs. Haltom. I have a motion and a second to approve the facility use request as presented. Are there any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. Motion carried unanimously. Next, request approval of personnel.
I request the board to approve the personnel as outlined in your board packet.
A motion to approve personnel.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mrs. Lewis. Thank you, Mr. Mann. I have a motion and a second to approve personnel as presented in our packet. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. Motion carried unanimously. Next, are there any board or superintendent comments?
I have no comments tonight.
Oh, neither. Glad that we had hit 45 today, and hopefully that snow is going to go away. With that, we stand adjourned at 7:40 p.m.
I have a question for you, Kathy. We had arrested in one of the regionals that are recording stuff.
No.
Heather, are we offline?
Yeah.